What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another training. Today, we're going to be going over how to create fulfillment in your life. So, if you're someone who right now you're noticing that you're going through your life and you're chasing after these goals, you're trying to do good with your life, you're trying to hold everything down and do what everyone told you should do, but yet fulfillment is still not there. You're still trying to fill a void. You hit one goal and you're automatically chasing the next goal. And it's always coming from this place of lack of fulfillment. It's never enough, right? And you're always trying to go, 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 go. But for some reason, that fulfillment feeling, that good feeling is still lacking. If that's you, this training is going to be for you today. So, this is something that I dealt with for a large piece of my life. And a lot of the goals and the things that I thought were my goals, the things I thought I want to do, were actually not mine. They were actually not real. They were programs put into me. And I would always go and I would work, work, work nonstop. And I would accomplish these great goals at such a young age. And yet I still felt it was never enough. I still felt unfulfilled. And that's when everything really changed for me when I finally figured out why. Why am I not fulfilled? Why am I feeling this way? And once I was finally able to figure out why, my entire life changed. Results in my life just got better, but it's coming from a place of me. It feels fully in alignment with who I am. It creates fulfillment in my life. So I'm going to walk you through here today on how it works. So here's the graph, right? You start a goal, you're chasing, you go through the mountain of success, the cycle of change. You hit a goal, and it's like, great, I got a little bit of success, like a glimpse of fulfillment. But then instantly it's like, what's next? Right? What is next? And it goes back to that feeling of lack, right? Of not good enough. Well, let's dive into it. First and foremost is that we got to understand is that fulfillment is not found outside. And what I mean by outside is the goals that you set, the things that you chase that you think is going to give you fulfillment, it's only going to be a small glimpse. I'm a huge believer that, yes, creating something in your life, having a mission, a purpose is extremely fulfilling when you follow it. But the thing that most of us miss is where is that mission rooted in? Where is this all coming from? Why do you do the things that you do? And that's where you're going to find the reason why you're unfulfilled. So here's what I mean is that here we are, right? And it's like, okay, here's my big goals and what I think I want to accomplish. So we go out into the world and we stack up all these trophies. All right, we'll say this is a trophy. And we accomplish all these big goals and we become this super big success. But yet, internally, it's not fulfilling. Internally, it's not helping us, right? Internally, it's not changing anything long term. So, externally, yeah, we're accomplishing these goals and everything, but where's the fulfillment? Why is it never enough? Why do I feel so bad about myself still, even though I'm accomplishing so much and all these people are saying such good things about me, but internally, I feel terrible about myself. I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like it's never enough. The reason why is because it's not because there's nothing wrong with you. It's where is this coming from? Where is the root? Okay, why do you have these goals? Why do you chase this fulfillment, this purpose, this path? It's the root. And that is the reason of so many of us who struggle with that unfulfilled, not enough feeling. It's because there's a root core belief, fear, program that's playing inside of us and that's producing or creating into our lives. So here's what I mean is let's say you have a root Okay, your root is not enough. So that is your core belief internally. What happens is that then influences how you think, how you feel about yourself, and how you take action, slash what you focus on, right? Slash what you create. And then eventually, actions produce results, right? So, yeah, we'll get results in our lives, but if it's coming from not enough, what do you think you're going to get as the end result? Right? A positive action creates a positive result. A negative action creates a negative result. So if you're building your life, if you're creating off of that core state of I'm not enough, you know what you're going to get is you're going to get maybe 10 seconds, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of celebration. This is awesome. But then it's going to go back to what's next? This is not enough. I still feel like crap. I still feel like I'm not good enough. So I need to go get the next big thing. So, how does this actually work? Okay, breaking down the science. So, I suggest you go watch my other YouTube videos on the belief systems. But basically, what happens, just a quick masterclass on it, is these are your core beliefs or your fears. Okay. And what science shows is that your core beliefs and fears produce the constant thoughts that you have on a daily basis. And through neuroscience, we know that a thought and emotion held over time. And if you have a thought held for over 7 seconds, you do experience an emotion because your brain doesn't know if it's actually imagination or experiencing it. It just experiences it in the now. So if you think about a terrible situation that's not actually happening, you will eventually feel it. And your body, your brain thinks it's dealing with it in real time. So a thought and emotion held over time will actually start to influence and create your identity. And how you show up and take action over time in the world and the things that you do is based off of that, right? So the actions, and then those create the results in your life. So these core belief systems, these core fears that we have are producing this feeling. So let's say if your core belief is I'm not enough, and that was programmed into you. Maybe you saw your dad was like that, right? And that's how your dad took action in the world. Or maybe it was family or environment or school system or society. It doesn't matter. It came from somewheres. It's not natural. How do you know it's not natural? Well, just look at it. It doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel like it's actually meant to be with you. If you think of, is it natural that every single one of us as humans are born with this sense of I'm never enough? No, right? No, it's not like that. So, somewhere down the line, it was programmed into us. And then it influenced how we showed up and take action in the world. And it keeps reproducing over and over and over again. And what most of us think is we just think this. We just think, okay, well, it's just because I got to get the next goal, right? It's because I got to go do the next thing, right? We're always looking external. We're always looking external in our external lives. What do I need to go do? When in reality, the actual problem, the situation is internal. Okay? It's coming from those core internal belief systems. Because what fulfillment actually is, if you think about what is fulfillment, fulfillment means that you are creating or doing something that is in alignment with you, that it feels like it is an expression of your true, authentic self, that you're creating something that you genuinely enjoy and love, right? In as you create fulfillment in your life, there's still going to be pain and stuff. Like that's just a part of the game. But when you create it from a rooted space that is in alignment with who you really are, and you take action based off that, the result has to be it's just the way physics work, right? Like attracts like. Positive action creates a positive result. So when you create from that internal fulfillment space, Okay. It's not coming from lack. It's actually coming from abundance. It's coming from joy, love, the highest emotional states a human can be on, slash our frequency, right? And if you know anything about quantum physics, with your frequency influences what you frequently see, right? Like attracts like. We can go down that route of manifesting. But when you create based off that internal fulfillment, that's what you're going to keep reproducing in your life. So, for example, for me, I've been in business since I was probably about 17 years old. I've always known I was an entrepreneur my entire life, and I've always wanted to help people. And my dream is this stuff right here: self fulfillment, self healing, helping people create their dream selves, rise above, and realize their true potential. And as a young age, though, I was brought up to believe that and these programs I had was it was never enough. I could work my absolute guts out. I could score all these goals in hockey. I could go work nonstop 14-hour days. I could make this money, whatever it may be. I could do these things, but it was never, ever, ever, ever enough. And what I would end up doing is I would burn myself out. I would get sad or depressed. I'd feel low confidence and terrible about myself. And I would just keep pushing, keep taking action till I realized, what is this? Like, what is going on? I don't want to feel this way anymore. I constantly feel like I'm never enough. And that is the worst feeling ever. And that's when I did the inner work. And for the past over 9 years, this is the stuff that I've been studying. And it has caused incredible results with over 500 plus of my clients. And I'm telling you, when we can change that internal root, when we can uncover those limiting beliefs and fears and truly release them and step into what's actually aligned and natural and flow with us, that's when we'll start creating true, real fulfillment in our lives. So, breaking this down, okay, is the first piece is we've got to get to the root. We've got to get to the root. So, how you would get to the root. So, step number one on creating fulfillment in your life. Step number one is get to the root. And the root is your limiting beliefs slash fears. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, just go to the YouTube channel and watch the video on how this works, or download my free course and it'll tell you the entire thing, the Dream Self Creator course. You can message me on Instagram for that. But that's the first step, is that we got to get to the root and we got to figure out what those limiting beliefs are and those fears. Just a quick rundown on how you would do it is just check in with your state of being. How does it make you feel when you had this feeling of I'm not enough? Like, what does that feel like? Okay. Or what are the thoughts that you have typically about yourself? And then ask yourself, what would I have to believe to be true about myself in order to think or feel or act this way? And then the rooted limiting belief or the fear will come up. And sometimes there's another underlying limiting belief, right? Or a fear still attached to that. And you'll know that because if you keep acting this way, if you keep thinking that way or feeling that way after you go through this process, it's linked to something deeper. Because once your brain realizes that I don't need to keep thinking and feeling this way of not enough because it's actually rooted in nothing, it's not actually real, it's not true, you don't need to do it anymore. You won't do it anymore. And you'll step into alignment with who you actually are. So that's the first one, is you want to shift these. After you do that, the next thing that you got to do is your nervous system needs to get alignment too with this, because your nervous system is attuned to maybe that never enough feeling. So if you were to describe your energy, right? If you picture yourself as an energy ball and you describe that, maybe the never enough feeling is like out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, right? Chasing, not enough, chasing, not enough, chasing, not enough. We need to get to a calm, cool, collected place of what would it feel like if you already are enough now? And you could create based off that state. That's what you need to get your body attuned to. Because if not, what happens is that you will always find a way back home, which means you'll always find a way back to that slash homeostasis. And what I mean by that is that just basically the state that you've always been before this, because that's what's natural. That's what's safe and secure for you, right? For the brain. So we need to change the nervous system. And that is through, meditation, breath work, and changing those consistent thoughts and emotions, right? Tying into your identity. So that's where the inner work starts in the morning. Then number three is you got to stay consistent. You got to stay consistent with this work, okay? And keep unplugging all limiting beliefs, fears, overall resistance that is not allowing you to flow with who you are. Okay, so think of resistance as blocks that are getting in the way of your natural self, your natural flow. And these blocks are in fear, they're rooted in fear, limiting beliefs, etc. So you'll notice as you work on this and try to create from fulfillment, your natural self, your old self will try to put you back into, that rooted of it's never enough. Because that's what's always been safe for you. That's how you created your life is from that root of it's never enough. So what's going to happen is that you're going to have fears and resistance pop up of like, well, what if I can't succeed still if I don't act based off that never enough feeling? Like, what if that was the drive that actually got me to where I want to go? And that's where the resistance pops up because it's not in alignment with you. It's the old self trying to hold on. These were like called anchors. These anchors are still stuck in you. And it's our job to unplug these as we go so we can get more and more back into flow and alignment with who we really are. And as you do this over time, what is going to happen is that you're then still going to be creating, but this creation is now coming from love. It's coming from enough, being enough. It's coming from high self-worth, right? And when you have these beliefs, you're going to start thinking differently, plus feeling differently. And that's going to influence how you take different actions in the world, how you create differently, right? What you put out into the world. And that's going to get you the results and where you want to go. And it's all coming from such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. And that's how you truly create fulfillment in your life. Okay? Is you take out all the rooted limiting beliefs and fears about yourself that's not actually real. And what I mean by that is remember that you are the author of your life. You're not the story. The story is these limiting beliefs, right? The story is these limitations that we put upon ourselves, these limiting beliefs and these fears. The author is realizing that you are the entire thing. You're the one who is choosing to have these limiting beliefs and creating that in your life, playing that story, but you're also the one who can stop playing that story and rewire and change and play a new story. And the number one thing that you want to realize as the author is you want to make the best story for yourself. What that means is that what is a true expression of yourself? What do you love most? What brings you the most joy in your life? What excites you on a daily basis? For example, like my work that I do when I help people rewire themselves, they get healthy, they get fit, they realize their potential. That's not work. Like this right now with you guys, as I do this, it doesn't feel like work. I want to do this. I want to wake up in the morning and create these trainings for you guys because this is what I genuinely love to do. If I can just help you guys change and realize your power and level up and expand yourself, I'm fulfilled. Like that is it. So there's so much beauty that comes from this because so much of us, we come from that lack. And that's what we do in our lives. We start these jobs that we don't even want to be doing, but it's coming from a place of, well, I can't go do what I want because of this. But it's just a program that was put into us. And so much of society is like this that it feels so scary when you step outside that box because so many people are also following that path, right? But we do these jobs that we're unfulfilled in, we're not happy with, it's just killing our energy. We are feeling these ways about ourselves that are so disempowering. I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I can't do this stuff. Like Quick check-in. Whenever you have these areas of your lives, right, and we lower these standards of ourselves, whenever you have something that you don't like, just ask yourself, is this expansive or is this constricting in my life? And constricting is killing, expansive is growth. So then we can decide, what do I actually want then? Right? Because a lot of us, we get caught up in this stuff, right? We don't work on our health and our fitness because maybe we have an identity of someone who is overweight or struggles with their health, or it always runs in my family or whatever it may be, right? And that produces in our lives over and over and over again. And we get caught up in those stories, right? Or if we have low self-worth, then we'll never work on ourselves. We don't believe that we're worth it, right? If we have low self-worth, we'll never go chase our dreams. We'll never go do what we want. If we're coming from a place of it's never enough, we're always going to find that in our lives, that it's never enough. This is how it works with the brain. And again, if you want to take my free course, we dive deep into like how it works with the quantum physics and the quantum realm, and overall manifesting, all that stuff there. And you can message me on Instagram at coach.hayward or at caden.hayward and just message me like, hey, can I have your free Dream Self Creator course? Or just message me like, free course, please, and I'll send it over. But this is what I want you to get from this, because I promise you, like, it doesn't matter right now if you're watching this, you're a millionaire or a billionaire, or you're trying to get healthy and fit, or you're trying to build something in your life, or you're just, whatever. It could be anyone. If you're noticing that you have that unfulfillment in your life and you truly adopt and practice this and you do the rewiring process, you will feel so 100 times better. This will create a complete 180 in your life. So that's the training for today, guys. And if you did like this training, please make sure you subscribe below. Leave a comment of what really hit home for you today, and share it with a friend who who you think might need it. And you can follow me on Instagram at coach.hayward or at caden.hayward for more. I hope you have an amazing day. Let's keep growing. Let's keep expanding. I'll see you next time.